let's get our Instagram feed up and running. There it is. And so now it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At The Track Live. I am Coach James. I am the creator of and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force. After we've covered all of the science topics and conducted experiments to drive home those ideas, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything that they have learned in the class. Once they have selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made from. All of the information that they can observe, they document that in a spreadsheet, and then all that's left to do is conduct the experiment. And the way that we conduct our experiments is the students set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip and race the cars, and they observe how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything they've observed? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, you can go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, also AA Aerodynamics, and all the information you need is in the bio, and we can discuss how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is All About Aerodynamics presents At The Track Live. So what is At The Track Live? Well, At The Track Live is the opportunity I have to introduce new cars into the fleet for the students to select. And I mentioned that I bring in about 400 different cars for the students to choose from. In totality, there are over 1,100 different Hot Wheels cars that we have in our fleet. To be precise, there are 1,100. I was just going through this morning. 1,107 Hot Wheels cars are in our fleet, and every week At The Track Live gives me the opportunity to introduce more cars. So I will be introducing new cars into the fleet. I'll take a little video, get a picture of the car, do a quick little review, and then since the track is already set up, all that's left to do is race the cars and see which of the new cars is the fastest. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and if you do that, you will have 3 options. You'll have a YouTube stream link, you'll have a Twitch stream link, but the third link is the most important one. That is the link that says choose your car. If you select that option, you will be taken to a page that has all of the cars listed. It looks like this. And it's actually a series of pages, but all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet are listed, numbered, cataloged, organized for you to find the car that you think will be fastest faster than the other cars that have been selected, and faster than the cars that I introduce. Once you find that car that you're confident is going to be faster than the others, all you have to do is take the number of that car and drop it in the chat, and I will pull that car, and just like that, you are entered into the tournament. It is pretty easy, pretty simple. All you have to do is find the car, and finding the car is that's the challenging part, because as we add cars in, hey Christopher, how you doing? As we add cars in, then there's obviously more choices, and there's a lot of different things to consider. Do you want to go with a truck? Perhaps. We have plenty of trucks. We don't have as many trucks as cars. Hot Wheels doesn't make as many trucks as cars, but for us, there are size considerations that most of the trucks that I have are too wide to fit into the launcher that we use for the races. But that doesn't mean that there aren't trucks to pick from. And there are plenty of trucks. There are trucks, cars, we have a hovercraft, we have a donut car, we have Batmobiles, we have station wagons, we have vans, we have fire trucks, we have police cars, we have buses, we have ice cream trucks, we have alligator cars, or maybe it's a crocodile. We have just a range of cars that basically any type of Hot Wheels car that you are considering, we have. If we don't have that exact car, we have some version of that car. And really, between the 1,107 different cars, you should be able to find something that you like, and something that you think will be competitive against the other cars that are going to be racing today. Once you find that car, again, all you have to do is, let's say it is this Super Volt. Let's say it's this one. Click on it, you see a close-up picture. You can determine usually if it's a metal body on a plastic base or a plastic body on a metal base. We pretty much know that this is a metal body. So in all likelihood, the base is going to be plastic. The modern Hot Wheels cars tend to be in that mode of they're either going to be plastic body on a metal base or a metal body on a plastic base. Sometimes we still get metal on metal, but it's not as common as it is with some of the older cars. But if that Super Volt is the car that you want to pick, all you have to do is take the number 359, drop it in the chat. I will pull that car, and that is just how simple it is to participate in today's tournament. So we've got plenty of cars, and that is definitely it's an advantage, because there are so many different cars to choose from, so many possible race combinations that are available. But it also means that there's a lot of choice, and it really just depends on which car you pick. The picture on the website is hard. Not necessarily. It just depends on the car. If we look at this one, the reflection, we can clearly see that the base is plastic and the body is metal. So it really just kind of depends on the car. But again, unless it's an older car, if it's a metal body, it's going to be a plastic base 9 times out of 10. Look at this Acura. Metal body, plastic base. If we find one with a plastic body, so there we go, plastic body, metal base, and usually that is the sequence for most of the modern cars. Some of the older ones are we still get metal on metal, and every once in a while we stumble across a metal on metal. This may be one. This looks to be metal. I think that's plastic. I think that's a plastic base. So yeah, for the most part, you can get an idea from the reflection, but of course, usually it's just that combination. It is metal on plastic or plastic on metal. So all I do know is that regardless of what car is picked, if you happen to win today's tournament, you will have the opportunity to take on our fastest in fleet car. And our fastest in fleet car is and has been this one. It is the BlitzSpeeder. And the BlitzSpeeder has been our fastest in fleet champion for probably about 5 months now. It is a 4-time champion, and it was dominant during its first run. Then it was defeated by the Gazella R. Then it came back and defeated the Gazella R. Then it was beaten by the Dogfighter. Then the Dogfighter was beaten. The BlitzSpeeder made its way back, and then it was beaten by the Mercedes-Benz 500E. And then that car was ultimately defeated, and Christopher brought back the BlitzSpeeder. And the BlitzSpeeder has not really had any kind of competition since. It has not been, I don't even know that it's lost a race. Our races are best 2 out of 3, and I don't know that the BlitzSpeeder has even lost a single race. I think it's been pretty clearly dominant, beating cars by multiple car lengths and just going on and waiting for some car to compete with it. Every Wednesday, we put the BlitzSpeeder, we have Wind Tunnel Wednesday, we have a 1/64th scale wind tunnel. We put the BlitzSpeeder in there, and its aerodynamic profile is second to none. And what we see is that the BlitzSpeeder is able to reduce the impact of drag, and drag is the primary force that's going to be working to slow these cars down as they race on our track. We fire them out at an extremely high rate of speed, and cars with poor aerodynamic profiles, drag will slow them down, and you can see that in real time as they race down the track. So this is the this is the standard. This is the car that every other car is going to be trying to beat, and we have a couple of contenders. One of the cars that's going to be racing today is a former fastest in fleet champion, and when we get to that car, we'll talk about it. But it's funny because I had to go back and look it up. That car was a fastest in fleet champion, and the car that beat it to knock it, to take the title away from it, was the BlitzSpeeder. So we're gonna have we may end up with a rematch if that particular car can win today's tournament. But there's a number of other cars that are gonna have something to say about which car makes it to the final. So again, if you are just stumbling across this channel and you're wondering what's happening, what's going on, well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live. The address is on the side of the screen there. Go to AtTheTrack.live, select the choose your car option, find the car that you want to race and that you want to pick, and that's that. You take the number, drop it in the chat, I'll pull the car, and you're in the tournament. It's just that simple. So the question is, what cars will be racing in today's tournament? So we are going to be taking a look because I have plenty of cars to choose from. And I think the first one we're going to look at, I have to check to see if we may already have one of these, but it's kind of cool and I liked it. It is this SRT Viper GTS-R. And I am going to check my spreadsheet because I don't like to have duplicate cars in the fleet, because there's no point to having duplicates unless there is some significant difference. And sometimes on the rare, usually it's the wheels that will be different. And there's not a huge gap in difference in terms of the wheels and wheel types, unless we're talking about the faster than ever wheels. Then there's a difference. But sometimes cars will have the skinny disc wheels. We've had that happen where one version of a car has the skinny disc wheels and the other one has the standard Hot Wheels wheels. We had one instance where we had a duplicate car. One was metal on plastic and the other was plastic on metal. So that was an actual significant difference. So that was a reason to have a duplicate. But typically, I don't want to have duplicates in the fleet because there's just no point. So let's see if we have an SRT Viper GTS. I don't see one here. That's good. Let me just look under Dodge. There we go. Dodge Viper SRT 10 ACR. No, that's not this one. We have a Dodge Viper GTS-R. Oh, well, that's it. Well, let's see. We actually have two of those. Car number 120 and car number 179. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. 120 and 179 and see how different, if at all, they are. All right, so 120 is this one. So as I look at this one, this one's different. I'm looking at the headlight placement is different on this one. Okay, so that's 120. And then we'll take a look, and the wing is different. So far so good. And then 179. So these cars are, so this one is different than these other two. The reason there are duplicates is because early on, especially in this is car number 120 and 179, I wasn't thinking about the whole duplicate issue when I was doing this. So especially early in the lower numbers, there will be some duplicates. But the good news is this one, oh wait, we do have a, let's check 445, Dodge Viper SRT 10 ACR, which the name is different enough that I'm pretty confident it's going to be a totally different car. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Car number, what did I say? 445. Let's see what we've got. Car 445 is this one, and that one is still different than this one. So this one's going in. Great. All right, let's get back over here. We will crack this one open, the SRT Viper from the Neon Speeder series. And as far as the weight goes, we know that the BlitzSpeeder weighs in at 32.4 grams. And we will set that aside. This Viper weighs in at 29.6 grams. So it's not pretty light, but it's light. Our sweet spot that we like to think about for these cars is between 32 and 36 grams. That is usually where we find winning cars. We have had cars outside of that range that have won, but that is not typical. It is more likely that a car in that 32 to 36 range has a very good shot of winning on our track. So let's go ahead and get this one entered in. This is car number 1108. And we are looking at the SRT Viper GTS-R. And So I'm looking at the wing on the back, and we have seen a lot of cars with a wing that is elevated to being even with the roof line. We've seen those cars do well. It is flat across the back, which means it should press up right against the launching block pretty nicely, which should help it get a good solid push out of the launching block. And that is a plus right there, because getting a good launch is so important, because cars that get bad launches get pushed off to one side or the other, and it just starts a chain reaction that demonstrates Newton's third law of motion, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and the cars just start bouncing around the track. They hit the right side, they bounce over to the left. They hit the left, they bounce to the right. And all of that, there's additional friction every time they hit one side, and that friction is another force that is working to slow these cars down. So cars that get good launches minimize the impact of that friction that comes with hitting the side of the track, and they're able to maintain more of their speed. And that is the whole point of these races. Maintain that speed. That is key. Let's get a nice little 3/4 view here of the car. And this is car number 1108, the Dodge SRT Viper GTS-R. I like the color scheme, this Neon Speeders series, the black. It's got the two different wheel types, which are the wheels actually different, or is it just that they painted? I mean, they're both kind of 5-spoke wheels, but they painted the wheels on the front wheels a little. It's a little peculiar. Wait a minute, didn't I just put this in? What happened here? Just checking my spreadsheet. And for some reason that didn't go through. SR. Let's go. S. Oh, there we go. All right, SRT. That is very strange. Okay. Now we've got it. SRT Viper GTS-R. Got it. All right. Next up, let's see. What I think we're gonna go with a weird, strange pick that I think it has no chance of winning today's tournament, but that can't stop me from putting cars in, because you just never know. And if I only picked cars that I thought had a chance to win, we would miss out on, we would have missed out on the last two tournament winners, the Aerostar and the Beast of Turin. I never would have thought those cars would be competitive, and it turns out they were not only competitive, but they won the tournament. So can't get out there and start prejudging what these cars are going to do. So let's go ahead and look at this next truck. Actually, this one I picked up at a Hot Wheels swap meet. This is from the Heat Fleet series, and this is the Sizzlin Service. It is a tow truck. It is the packaging feels heavy just holding it here. And we do have a couple of other tow trucks in the fleet, but I don't think any of them, those are more modern versions of tow trucks in the Hot Wheels timeline, and they are not as heavy as this one feels. I'd imagine this is probably going to clock in at, I would say 52 grams. That's my guess, but we'll see. Let's crack it open. This is from the Heat Fleet series, It doesn't say what else was in the Heat Fleet series, but there's some old packaging pictures. And I mentioned before that I should probably take a picture of the back, because the backs are so different. I mean, this is a modern one that just shows the Neon Fleet series, but some of these older Hot Wheels backs have just some interesting advertisements and things that kind of show you what they were selling at the time. Some of them you can tell when the internet started to become a thing, because they're starting to put in codes that you can go to websites that no longer exist and get sign up for things. But let's take a look at this. Sizzlin Service. Does not want to come out of this old packaging. All right, there we go. Sizzlin Service. The tow hook does not move. It is weighing in at, what did I say? This one is 52.9 grams. I was 0.9 grams off, but I could just kind of feel the weight of this thing, and it's gonna be problematic for it on the track. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Sizzlin Service right here. It is definitely, it's all tow truck. Now, it is interesting because this is one of the few cars that we have in the fleet that has 6 wheels. The other that I can think of offhand is a tank, and I don't, it has been picked. The tank has been picked. One of my students picked the tank, and I was kind of shocked, but it actually won a race, because some of these things are all about matchups, and the tank is big and awkward and unaerodynamic, or as it was. It went up against this California cruising, this van that we have that's old school. I had it when I was a kid, and it's metal on metal, and it is so heavy that it is just, and of course the van design, it is just not, there was no chance for that thing. So it was beaten by the tank. I think it's the tank. It might not be the Tanknator, but it's one of the tank. We have a couple of tank cars, and that tank car won a race. So the matchups do matter. I don't think anything is going to help this giant thing, but it is the Sizzlin Service, and that is our, this thing, the tow hook is sticking out. I can't tell if this tow hook is sticking out yet beyond that little kind of rear bumper at the bottom, but I don't think it matters, because I think the tow hook would be higher than the launching block anyway. So I think the majority of the pressure and the push from the launching block is going to come from that lower bumper, but it just doesn't matter. This just huge frontal area on this thing is, combined with the weight, is just, this thing may be set up to pull a Grogu and not even finish the race, because I can't imagine that it's going to get a great push out of the launching block. And then you combine that with the weight and that huge frontal area that is going to be, that the air is going to be pressing up against before it finds a way over, under, and around that cab. This thing is not really set up to do very well. So we will have to see what happens. I've been surprised. The last 2 weeks, I've definitely been surprised. We have had the Aerostar and the Beast of Turin that I really didn't expect to perform as well as they did, but they did they did, and they outperformed my expectations, and that's kind of cool when that happens. So you never know. I don't want to. It's like why I like to throw all types of Hot Wheels cars in the mix, because again, you just never know, and because you just never know, we might find that latest super sleeper car in the mix. So, all right, we have the Dodge Viper. We have this huge tow truck coming in at 52 massive grams. What do we have next? We have this car I picked up, and I'm hoping we don't have one because I really like this one. This is a BMW 635 CSI, and I'm gonna check these. Well, first let me see what the year was on the 1991 is the manufacturing year on the Sizzlin Service. Now let's see if we have this BMW, which I hope we don't because I really like this one. BM, and I don't really remember. Oh, well, okay, we have a bunch of BMWs, and we have this one already. BMW 635 CSI is car number 1014. So it hasn't been, it's not too old. Let's take a look. 1014. Man, that is too bad. That would be on our last page. 1000. Oh, right here. And yep, it is it's pretty much the same car. That one has, so the wheels are different. Are the wheels different enough to justify me putting in this car? Really, I'd just be putting it in really because I like it, and I like it better than that one. So I think what we might have to do is have a loser leaves the fleet matchup, in which I will take this BMW 635 CSI, and it will go up against that one, the orange one, which usually orange cars, I love, I don't know, I have a thing for orange cars, and I usually like to keep them around. But in this case, I like this one better than that one. But they are not different enough to justify having two of the same cars in the fleet. So we are going to have a loser leaves the fleet matchup. And that is, I'm just putting down the number, 635 CSI. And yeah, we will. So we're going to see that matchup. And I guess there's not really, so I can't really count that because, we're not doing that. Let me see. I think I have to adjust this light as I do. There we go. Okay, so this BMW will end up racing today against the other BMW. So this is a special matchup. I will crack this open. I'm going to have to open it anyway. And take a, let me see. And we'll check the weight of the other one when it's time to race. It weighs 33.4 grams, and just take a, go ahead and look at it. It is, it's kind of cool. I like the graphics. I like the color combination. The little grid pattern. It's almost got like a blueprint on the hood. I like the smoked tint on the windows. The fenders kind of flared out. I like the plastic that the smoked kind of plastic that they put on over the headlights. And then they did that again in the rear. So it's just a cool looking car. I like the white walled tires, all of that. It's just got a little bit more style than the orange version. But the question is, they're two of the exact same cars. Is there going to be enough of a difference that one is going to have the advantage over the other? Who knows? When we raced two of the same BlitzSpeeders, when we've raced, I think the BlitzSpeeder was the only car that we've raced that's been exactly the same car. And the results were what you would expect. The race was extremely close, and then we ended up with our winner, which was the BlitzSpeeder that we already have as champion. Beat out the next in line BlitzSpeeder. All right, so that is going to be a matchup we have coming in down the line. Let's see, what is... We've got this car that was one I picked up loose at the Hot Wheels swap meet. It is the Commodore VT. Don't know anything about that car, this car, but here it is loose. And one of the things I always have to check when I pick up loose cars at the Hot Wheels swap meet is whether or not the axles have been bent or anything's wrong so that the wheels don't roll properly. This one seems to be okay. So we're going to check the weight. The weight is 37.4 grams. And let me just, since there is no packaging on this one, I am going to get the name down before I take the video because I probably won't remember what the name is. It's very unusual. It is the Commodore COMMODORE VT, whatever that means. So I don't think I've ever heard of a car brand Commodore that I can remember. So I don't know if this is a fantasy car or if this is an actual car that I'm just not familiar with. If it is a fantasy car, they didn't really do much on the fantasy aspect. It looks like a pretty standard, almost like a Pontiac. Would that be a Grand Am? Maybe. It's giving me those kind of vibes, but it's pretty. It just seems pretty basic. It's like car. If you said draw a picture of a car, this is a race car or something. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it will be fine. The back end is flat. It's kind of it checks off the boxes. It's got the things that we tend to look for. It has the flat back end. It's got a wing. It doesn't really have anything that would obstruct the airflow. It's just a pretty basic standard car. The weight is fine. The width, sure, it's good enough. It gets a little more narrow in the front than it is in the back, but that's not a big deal. And I think it should be very average and appropriate. I don't know what else to say about this. I don't think it is going to beat, I don't know. I don't know if it would beat one of those BMWs. I don't know. It would probably be competitive. I can see it being competitive with those. And it may beat that Dodge Viper. I don't know. I would venture a guess and say it could probably beat that car. So I don't know. It may end up in the mix. However, the two viewer picked cars, it's not beating those. I am almost certain that it is not beating either of those two cars. But we will get to those cars a little later. So we have the SS Commodore VT, which I have never heard of. The manufacturing year is 2000, and it just seems like a very plain, very ordinary, perfectly fine car. And I don't know, it's funny because this is the kind of car that there's certain cars that almost never get picked, and this one I think would probably not get picked. Even if it turns out today to be really fast, it may not get picked just because there's not really anything about it that kind of stands out. And I think part of the selection, at least from my students and even people who are picking cars to race, you're kind of looking for that little, I don't know, something extra, a little bit of style, something that gives you an idea that, yeah, I think this is the car. But we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. This could be our sleeper of the week. I don't know. It may be. So we now have the SS Commodore VT. We have the Dodge Viper. We have that giant tow truck. And we have the BMW 635 CSI, which will probably, well, it depends. If the white version of the BMW wins, then that's going to remain in this tournament. If the orange car wins, then all that's going to happen is it knocks out the white BMW and the tournament continues. But if the white BMW wins, since it's a newer car, a new car to the fleet, it will be in the tournament. So that is what we are going to be looking at. But now we need to see what we're going to be looking at for car number 1011. Car 1011 is going to be this one. This one's kind of cool, and this may be another sleeper of the week. This is called the Screamliner, and it is like an old school luxury stretch race Cadillac limo something. It's very interesting and very unique. I don't believe we have one, but I am going to check the spreadsheet anyway, just to be safe, because as I mentioned, we don't want any duplicates. We have the, let's see, SC. Nope, we do not have one. We have one now. This is the Screamliner custom hot rod. Very interesting. There's some cars I can't wait to get on the track. Other cars I can't wait to get into the wind tunnel. And this Screamliner is one that I'm excited about both prospects. I want to see it in the wind tunnel, and I can't wait to see it on the track. It is very unique, very cool. So let's see. So first of all, let me switch the camera view over. So the first thing with this one is the wheels. The wheels are kind of tucked underneath, which usually I don't like. But on this one, I don't mind it at all. I like it, in fact. This has this is, when we talk about how little style that Commodore had, this car is the exact opposite. It is all style. From the black and white and gold, the black matte finish, I like that. The gold accents look amazing, and this is just a great looking car, period. And there we go. we have our still picture, which I probably need to swap out that background, get a better look. And because of the accents on the car, I'm gonna put in the gold background. And go ahead here and get this one. All right, the Screamliner. And then we'll take a look, get the 360 view. Although I will say that gold is actually not doing it a lot of favors. It puts kind of a golden tint over the thing. All right, the Screamliner, and now I'm not sure what kind of launch this thing is gonna get. The back end though is pretty flat, but it's flat and low, which means sometimes when we see that combination, cars get pushed up into the air, which is why I think that when we see cars that have the wing at the roof line pressed up against the launching block, those cars tend to get better launches. I don't know what kind of launch this thing is going to get. It seems like it is wide. This is really one of the first cars I've seen where the wheels being tucked under the car make sense and don't make the car look awkward. But it's 100% style, and I really am. I'm curious to see what it does on the track, and can't wait to see it in the wind tunnel, because this is just such an interesting design. And then it's got this fin right in the back here. What impact will that have? What difference will that make? I'm definitely, when we put this in the wind tunnel, I want to see if when the air comes up over the top here, does it continue to follow down this slope, or does it just tail off, as we tend to see happen with the roof line, especially the rear roof line on these cars. So the Screamliner is going to be in the mix. It is the Screamliner. It is the Dodge Viper. It is the Sizzlin Service tow truck. It is the BMW 635 CSI. And it is the SS Commodore. So we've got a good, interesting lineup. I think it needs one more in the mix. So we will... Oh, let me see the Screamliner. What year was the Screamliner manufactured? This was in 2013. All right, so let's add that in. It's one more piece of data that we collect. All right, let's see. We need one more car in the mix. How about we go with we'll go with this one. We'll give Matchbox another shot. We are going to go with the Austin Healey Roadster Cabriolet, and I believe that we already have an Austin Healey, but it is a Hot Wheels version, and therefore we can have another version if it's a Matchbox, because when I talk about significant differences, there's some difference, and I don't know what it is, but there is a difference between the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox cars, and the Matchbox cars tend not to perform as well as the Hot Wheels cars. We do have an Austin Healey. It is car number 693. So let's go ahead and take a look at that just to find out whether or not we are coming in with a duplicate or a a unique car. See, 400 will go up to 6. I said that was 693, so we need to go over to page 4. 693. We are looking, oh, past it. 693. Austin Healey. So this is that's the Hot Wheels take on the Austin Healey, and this is the Matchbox take on it. So the cars, already just looking at them, they are significantly different, and I don't know if these are modeled after the same year or 2 different years, but the Hot Wheels version, I can already tell that the trunk area, the rear area, has been extended, and let's see, the Hot Wheels version has the engine is sticking up through the hood. That's not the case on the Matchbox version. And the Hot Wheels version, the windshield is at a lower angle than it is on the Matchbox. The Matchbox, I presume, because the Matchbox cars are usually made more closely resembling the actual scale, 1/64 scale sizes. So I would presume that the windshield angle on the Matchbox version is more accurate to what is on the real world car. The Hot Wheels version, as Hot Wheels tend to do, they're kind of stretched out, and they play around with the proportions a little bit just to make the cars cooler, give them a better stance, etc. So let's go ahead and crack this one open and see if it is going to be able to live up to the expectation. And maybe what I might have to do is just have, since we already have that other loser leaves the fleet match, we may have to have a Hot Wheels Matchbox showdown. So I think I might as well write that number down. And that was the Austin. Oh, I guess I could just do this. I could just go here and escape. And it is 693, which is that Austin Healey. All right, so we got that. Hey, Roughshot, how you doing? We've just been taking a look at some of these cars that are going to be racing. Let's see this Austin Healey. It's another, Matchbox makes really good looking cars. They're just not fast. This one comes in at 26.9 grams, so it will be our lightest car of the day, and maybe that will help put it on a winning path. We'll see. So let's go ahead and slip over to this screen. Take a look at this Austin Healey. And get a little video here. And it is now going to be the latest Matchbox car in the fleet. The car number 1112. The Austin Healey Roadster. And with this one, the bumper will be pressed up against the launching block. It's a little low, and this car's light, so the chances that it flies up into the air, pretty good. Looking at the angle on that windshield, that is definitely going to, when we put this car in the wind tunnel, that airflow is going to slam into that windshield, and after that, it's probably going to be a whole turbulent air situation. So who knows what's going to happen there, but this car being as light as it is and being a Matchbox, I would expect a slowdown at the back end, and we'll see what the Hot Wheels Austin Healey can do against this one. It may be a race that's over before it begins. But this one, again, the Matchbox cars, I like they always look good. They look good, and if I was just keeping them on a shelf, I wouldn't mind any of that. They even put little details like the little latches and hinges for the trunk. They put a little silver paint on there. They paint those. So they just go the extra mile with these Matchbox cars in a way that they don't always do that with the Hot Wheels. So that is just how it is. But let's get our still picture of this one. Then I can pull those other cars and we can get one step closer to hitting the track. The Austin Healey. Turn it just a little bit like that. Not a bad looking car at all. So here we go. Austin Healey. Boom. Matchbox version. So we're going to have some interesting matchups. We're going to have our loser leaves the fleet matchup with that BMW. We're gonna have Hot Wheels versus Matchbox with this Austin Healey. We are going to have that tow truck, the Dodge Viper, the SS Commodore, and that really good-looking sort of throwback luxury, whatever, the Screamliner. So I think we've got half the cars that I really don't know how they're going to perform, and it'll be interesting to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab Roughshod and Christopher's cars, and then I'm going to get also that other BMW and the other Austin Healey. Let me check the manufacturing year on. Oh, see, this one is, when I look at the bottom of the car, it is a 1963 Austin Healey 3000 Mark II. So why they have that on the bottom? They have all that information on the bottom, but they didn't put it on the package. So let me adjust the information I have in here. It is a 63 Austin Healey 3000 Mark II. Maybe they felt like that was too much information to put on the package. 3000 Mark II. Okay. Gives a little bit more information. And what is the manufacturing year on that one? It is... It is 20... Is that a 13 or 18? Time to pull out the magnifying glass. It is a... It is an 18, 2018. All right, we have the SRT Viper. We've got the Sizzlin Service tow truck. We've got the SS Commodore VT, the Screamliner, the 63 Austin Healey, and we have the BMW 635 CSI. So I'm going to go pull the other cars, Roughshod and Christopher's cars, and those other two. And I will be back in just a minute. Let's see, where is it? There we go. right. Hey Virgo, I let that run a little longer just for you. You're that song's biggest fan. But I pulled the cars, and we are going to take a look at. So first, we'll take a look at this BMW to see if it weighs the same amount as the other one that we looked at, the newer one. So the newer one weighs in at 33.4 grams. The original that's already in the fleet is 33.3 grams. So these cars are exactly the same. We'll just take a little look at them right here. And like I said, usually I know why I took the car on the right that's already in the fleet, because it's orange, and orange cars I'm always gonna sort of lean towards those. But this other one, I really like the style better. But since these are the exact same car, we can't have two. This town's not big enough for the two of them. This track isn't big enough for the two of them. So somebody's got to go. So the loser is going to leave the fleet. And one of these is, it's definitely going to go. But we'll see. Whichever one wins is the one that stays. So we've got that matchup coming up, the double BMW challenge. And if the newer BMW, if the white BMW wins, then it is going to be staying in the fleet. And well, whichever car wins is going to be staying in the fleet. But if the white one wins, it's going to continue in today's tournament. If that orange one wins, then it just goes back into the fleet. All right, the Hot Wheels Austin Healey weighs in at 30.9 grams. So it is not heavy by any stretch, but this is it. And so that is the Hot Wheels version. And if we compare that to the Matchbox version, we see that the Matchbox version is smaller. It's more narrow. The back end is not as extended. The Hot Wheels version has bigger wheels at the rear, and so it really does give you an idea of what Hot Wheels does with the cars that Matchbox doesn't. Matchbox stays very true to the 1/64th scale. Hot Wheels is trying to make these cars cool. So if you look at that, like look at the back end, Hot Wheels has stretched this out. Matchbox kept it how it should be. I mean, how it is in the actual car. This Hot Wheels car is definitely wider than the Matchbox car. And the other thing that's very noticeable is look at the angle on that windshield. And the Matchbox version, I'm pretty sure if we were to look it up, this is the correct angle on the windshield, but the Hot Wheels version is leaned at a lower angle, and that's probably going to be beneficial. Now, the engine sticking up through the hood doesn't seem like that would help, but in general, you can kind of see the difference. So we're going to have an Austin Healey versus Austin Healey matchup. It's going to be tough for the Matchbox because that's just how it goes. So let's take a look at Christopher's pick. This car weighs in at 31.9 grams. It is I think this is the name's not on the bottom. I think it's the Formula Street. You can correct me, Christopher, if I'm wrong. But this one, we put it in the wind tunnel. It is kind of a fantasy Indy F1-ish car. It's got a little bit of elements of lots of different cars. What we did note was that the sides of the windows here are open, but the canopy area, the driver's canopy, is covered. So that's kind of unique. It also has some openings down on either side of the nose of the car, and the air can kind of pass through, and we'll see how that impacts its performance. The back end of the car, I do like this, that it's got this flat metal piece right here. This obviously is plastic on metal. It's going to press right up against that launching block. We're going to see what kind of push it actually gets when it comes out, and that should be something to watch. So we have the Formula Street, and it's you're not necessarily it's only fan. The kids like it, they like it, and so yeah, you're not its only fan, you're its biggest fan. Put it like that. All right, and then Roughshod, he went with this car, the Trak Tune, which is weighing in at 35.1 grams. It's got the faster than ever wheel. So we have two Trak Tunes in the fleet. One is like a springtime Easter version. The other is this one with the faster than ever wheels. And I had to go back and look this morning, look through the archive, and on our YouTube channel, all the previous and past episodes are there. So if you want to check any of those out, you can. But the Trak Tune, this one, it beat the Draftnator. The Draftnator is a pickup truck that was our fastest in fleet champion for kind of a good long run. And the Trak Tune came along. Trak Tune beat it. Trak Tune was our fastest in fleet champion until it was beaten by the BlitzSpeeder. So the BlitzSpeeder beat the Trak Tune to take its take the fastest in fleet title. And so it'll be an interesting rematch, because I think this will probably be the first time that these cars have gone up against each other since that race. The Trak Tune was in our 100th episode. We took all of the championship cars, all of the fastest in fleet cars from the previous 100 episodes, and had a tournament. The Trak Tune was in that. It didn't win it. The BlitzSpeeder ended up winning that tournament, but those two cars never raced each other. So this will be the first time that we're having that actual rematch. So that is going to be something that is coming up. And now all that is left to do really is to go over, and I always have to find this. It is the thing for the folks watching on Instagram. I need to let them know what they will be seeing, and I have a vertical version of this. It's everything now. I have to do I have to have a horizontal version, and then I have to have a vertical version. And in the vertical version, it is, where is it? I want to let them know. Where is it? There it is. All right, this is what you are going to be seeing when we go to the track. You are going to be seeing our 3-camera racetrack view. The cars are going to start off in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'm going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race, hit the switch. The car's going to come firing out of the launcher. They're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They'll go from top to bottom, pass out of the bottom of the screen in the middle, show up at the top of the screen on the far right. Our finish line camera, they will go from top to bottom, passing and crossing the finish line. And the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light will indicate the winning car. A flashing red light will indicate the losing car. Solid red light, you won. Flashing red light, you lost. The cars will switch lanes after the first race and go again. And the first car to take 2 out of 3 races is going to be moving on in the tournament. If a car crashes and leaves the track, no problem. We simply throw out the results of that race and we set the cars up again and race again. If the same car crashes twice consecutively, leaving the track, then that car is disqualified, because it suggests that there's a problem with the combination of the launcher and the car that is not going to be resolved by just rerunning the same race. So If a car crashes twice, leaves the track, it is disqualified. If a car crashes but does not leave the track, we've had cars that end up on their roof, end up on their sides, end up in the other lane, turned around backwards. Unless it leaves the track, that race counts, and that car has just lost. So if a car you are looking at, if you want it to win, when it crashes, if it's crashing, you want it to crash and leave the track. You do not want your car to crash and stay on the track. That is a worst case scenario, but it happens. So we are all set up. We are ready to go. We have some interesting matchups, some matchups that are going to determine whether or not cars get to stay in the fleet or whether or not they have to go into the prize bin. And we are going to find out once again. Have a battle between Hot Wheels and Matchbox for die-cast car supremacy. We are going to get that all started, and I will see you over at the track in about 30 seconds. Let's see what we have going here. Let me just double check the audio. 1, 2. Yep, audio is good. All right, we are ready to race, and I always do some test runs before we go live just to make sure everything's in proper working order. And so far, so good today. So let's get these cars. Take a look. We've got that giant tow truck, which I like to have a diversity, a wide range of cars and styles and types. Can't always have the exact same cars for the kids to choose from, and so that helps. But we are going to get it started with our loser leaves the fleet match, which is going to be contested between the two BMW 635 CSI cars. They are exactly the same, and it's just a question of which one is going to get to stay. Can't have two of the exact same cars in the fleet. That's no good. So it is going to be a question of, is the orange car going to stay, or is the white newer version going to stay? These cars are very the perfect width because they are both lined up. If they were any wider, if they were a millimeter wider on either side, they would not fit in the launcher. But right now they're in there pretty snugly, and we're ready to go. The white 635 is in lane 2. The orange 635 is in lane 1. Race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Very interesting. That the white BMW 635 CSI, in working out of lane number 2, took that race by a significant margin. Are the wheels different on these cars? Yes, the wheels are different, but I don't know how much of a difference that is actually going to make. Now, I would hate to see the fleet reduced by one orange car, because I like my orange cars. But this one, it's not my favorite of the orange cars. I don't like some of the choices they made with some of the designs on it. I think they overdid it with the sponsor logos and such, but hey, it is what it is. All right, we switched lanes, and the orange 635 is in lane 2. The white 635 is in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Ooh. Very interesting. So the orange version got out to a pretty good, it got a good launch, and it was in the lead until about the halfway point. Then it started to slow, and that white car caught it, passed it, and won the race, as indicated by the solid red light that was there before I had this car go across and interrupt the flow. Let me reset that. All right. And so long to the orange BMW. It was nice knowing you. You are now a prize bin car, and your car has been, and your spot has been taken by this white BMW. Maybe this orange car, as I mentioned, the loser leave town matches were a thing from old school wrestling, and sometimes what would happen is the person who lost the match, who had to leave the territory, would come back later in a mask or with some other kind of different gimmick. So maybe that orange car makes its way back in a mask. I don't know. But we are moving on. Now we're going to get into Hot Wheels versus Matchbox with the Austin Healey matchup. And we'll see if the Hot Wheels car is going to be as dominant as Hot Wheels cars have tended to be over the Matchbox car. Now, the Matchbox car is very light. That's probably the thing that it has going for it. It's light. And we'll see how that works out. Usually cars that are too light, the back end, they start to slow down. But that presumes that we'll see this car in the lead at any point. So here we go. The Matchbox Austin Healey is in lane 2. The Hot Wheels version is in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Hot Wheels version absolutely destroys the Matchbox. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing over there at Matchbox. They're making beautiful cars, but they cannot race to save their lives. That was a brutal, that was a beating that was among some of the worst we've seen for cars that actually finished the race. But you never know. We're going to switch lanes. We'll put the Matchbox in lane 1. We're going to go with the Austin Healey in lane 2. And race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That Austin Healey got destroyed. What is the weight for the Formula Street? I don't remember offhand. We did it before we took a look at it. But I'll tell you after we get back into the garage. Trying to think, what was it? I think it was in the mid to high 20s, maybe. All right, so Matchbox Austin Healey gone. We've got let's get into, we're going to go with this tow truck. The Sizzlin Service, I think it was the Sizzlin something. The big tow truck. What's it say on the bottom? Nothing. All right, we're definitely going to have to go with the taller, the little hybrid acrylic cover. So let's see, is that even going to be tall enough for this thing? No. So now we have to go with the hybrid acrylic cover, but even lift it up even higher. Let's see if that is going to work for this thing. I don't like doing that. Okay, so that works. And the thing is, so we have to lift up the acrylic cover on one side to accommodate the taller car, but then that puts the smaller car at a disadvantage because it ends up raising up their side of the acrylic cover as well. So we'll see what happens. We're going to put this Screamliner in lane 2. The tow truck, the Sizzlin Service, is in lane 1. And hopefully with this Screamliner, it can make it down the track without needing to put the acrylic cover into use. But let's see, the Screamliner doesn't want to stay in position against the launching block, which is a problem. And come on, this car is very unique. All right, we got it. Here we go. We've got the Screamliner in lane 2. We've got the Sizzlin Service tow truck in lane 1. Race number 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. So that race, the tow truck won, but we've got to do it over because one of these cars scraped against the acrylic cover in a weird way, in a way that I know impacted their performance. Now, what would be interesting is if it was the tow truck that scraped against the cover, because it still won the race. But I want to make sure that both cars have an even opportunity, and when something like that happens, it's no good. So I'm going to adjust this, and I don't think it's fair for the smaller. I don't think the smaller car really gets the best shot under these circumstances. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out the Screamliner and put in the Commodore, because I think that the Commodore is going to be less reliant on that acrylic cover, whereas I think the Screamliner is probably getting shot up into the air first and will need the benefit of the acrylic cover. So switched it up. We're going Commodore in lane 2, Sizzlin Service in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And look at the big boy coming in at 52.9 grams, taking the race, and took it over the Commodore. The Commodore was basically the car that we said looked like just an average, regular, extremely basic car. And it performed in a way that suggests it is extremely regular and basic. It was beaten by this huge semi tow truck. So I don't know what's going on anymore. And this is exactly what I was saying earlier about why you have to race the races and why you have to pick some cars sometimes that are just off the wall, that you look at and don't think they have a chance. But this one coming in at 52.9 grams with 6 wheels took the race. And it took the other race too against the Screamliner. So who knows? All right, race number 2. The Sizzlin Service is in lane 2. The Commodore is in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And that one wasn't close. We are in a different era of the super heavyweights. This is not the first time we've seen a car that has a significant weight, I don't want to say advantage, the heavier car. This is not the first time we've seen the heavier car come in and win a race. So that is interesting in and of itself, that we're having cars this heavy do well on the track. Now, we get to a point, like that works to a point, and then you start racing cars that are, you know, serious contenders, and then everything goes out the window. But for now, we have a 53-gram car moving on in the tournament. So there we go. All right, next up, we are going to go with the Dodge Viper against the Formula Street and see what happens. No, this is not called the Rig Wrecker. This is the Sizzlin Street. Now there may be another one or another version, but what was on the package of this one is the Sizzlin Service, or whatever it was that I said earlier. So there are occasions where they take the same car or do some other version, and they decide, hey, let's call it this. But that is not the case, at least as far as I'm aware, for this one. So this version, the name on the package is the Sizzlin Service. So we've got that. All right, we have this Dodge Viper SRT in lane 1. We have Christopher's Formula Street in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Two fast cars, good race, but the Viper takes race number 1. And now we will see if we have a third and final matchup that is necessary. But in order for that to happen, the Formula Street is going to have to pull off 2 victories. Well, it's just going to have to win this one in order to get us to the next stop. So let's go ahead and get these cars all lined up, ready to go. This Dodge Viper, the wing presses right up against the launching block. It is another of those cars where the wing is aligned with the roof line, which is something that we've seen work for a number of cars. All right, Formula Street is in lane 1. The Dodge Viper is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Whew. That was a good race, and a race that was so close I had to look at the lights, and the lights indicate that the Dodge Viper has taken the race and will be moving on. We have worked our way down. We've got a few cars. Next up, we're going to have the Trak Tune, former fastest in fleet champion. This is Roughshod's pick. He brought it back. The Trak Tune with the faster than ever wheels, and this is an example of a car that there is where we have a duplicate, but the duplicate is different. So we have one of these, and it has standard wheels, and it's yellow. It is an Easter themed car, but it has standard wheels. This one has faster than ever wheels. And faster than ever wheels, we've discussed before, the axles are nickel plated, which means there's less friction when the wheels are spinning, so they should be able to spin faster and freer, and that's where we get that. Okay, so the Screamliner is back. The Screamliner is in lane 2. The Trak Tune is in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 3, 2, 1, race. That was a close race. That Screamliner was moving, and that Trak Tune had to pull it out at the end. And were the faster than ever wheels the thing that made the difference? Perhaps. But that Screamliner, that was a solid performance. But when you're trying to beat a car with faster than ever wheels, it's tough. It's tough because the friction that is created when these wheels are spinning, you know, any car, essentially we always talk about gravity, drag, and friction. And any car that can reduce the impact of any of those forces is going to improve its chances of winning a race. And clearly, the Trak Tune was up to the challenge. And we will see here if it is going to make it a clean sweep. We've got the Trak Tune in lane 2, the Screamliner in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, look at the Trak Tune. It's going to tap the the Trak Tune came all the way back and tapped the launching block, which is a serious statement that it might be ready to call out the BlitzSpeeder. It may want a shot at the champ again. Well, it's one step closer. Any car that goes all the way down, hits the barricade at the end, and bounces all the way back, that car was moving. And there's something to that. It is Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the action is hitting that backstop, and the reaction is coming back. Most cars do not come back this far. Only our fastest cars hit that backstop and come all the way back and actually tap the launching block. So that's a bit of a statement being made there by the Trak Tune. All right, so now we have the BMW, we have the Austin Healey, and we have that tow truck. Let's go BMW, and we'll go BMW versus, we'll go BMW Trak Tune. We'll get the Trak Tune back out there. Actually, no, you know what? We're going to go BMW, BMW Trak Tune. That makes sense. And see which of these cars is going to come out on top. This BMW has already taken the spot of the orange BMW. So that is something that I'm going to have to adjust on the website. And here we go. We've got the Trak Tune in lane 2. And we have the BMW in lane 1. That Trak Tune just finished a race and came back and tapped the starting block. So that shows you this car is moving. We'll see what it can do now. Trak Tune lane 2, BMW lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, here comes the Trak Tune again. It's going to do it again. It does. Uh-oh. This Trak Tune, I don't remember the last time we saw a car do that twice in a row. We've had cars that have done it. I don't remember the last time we saw one do it twice in a row. This is maybe going to be a bit of a problem for the rest of these cars, and the BlitzSpeeder may want to just kind of like take notice. Just take notice. So let's see. All right, we've got the BMW now in lane 2. We have the Trak Tune in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, the Trak Tune is just, it didn't come all the way back this time, but it absolutely took that race with no problem. Trak Tune, I said on Wednesday that I was expecting to see the Trak Tune. I thought it would be the Trak Tune and the Formula Street. I thought we would see those two in the finals, but Formula Street didn't make it, and neither did this BMW. This BMW is now going back to the garage. We are down to the Dodge Viper, the Austin Healey, and the tow truck. Okay, so there's different types of Hot Wheels tow trucks, the heavy hitcher and the repo duty. I see. Well, this one is Sizzlin Service, and it is going to, might as well get it racing right now. We'll take the Sizzlin Service and we'll put that up against the Austin Healey. And let me get the oh yeah, we got to do this because it's so tall. Again, I think this puts the smaller car at a disadvantage when I have to raise the acrylic so significantly to accommodate one car, but got to do what you got to do so that these cars can race. So here we go. We have the tow truck, Sizzlin Service, in lane 1. We've got the Austin Healey in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. So the tow truck takes it, and again, I you know, the smaller car went down, and I just think that this car is not being able to, the smaller cars are just not, it's a disadvantage because they're not able to take advantage of the acrylic cover. So what happens is they fly up into the air, and then they come back down and land on the track, but that time that they spend in the air before they get right back on the track is a problem. And I'm going to try and see if there's something I can do on this next run to help that car out. So we're putting the Austin Healey is now in lane 1. The tow truck, Sizzlin Service, is in lane 2, weighing in at 53 grams. It's had some very impressive performances, but there's a little bit of an asterisk because I'm just not convinced that it's not being helped by the fact that we have to use this taller cover and really extend the cover. So I'm going to try something here. All right, we've got the Austin Healey in lane 1, the Sizzlin Service in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Yeah, so I slid another piece of acrylic above the Austin Healey to try and counteract any kind of disadvantage that came about because of the height. And we see that the Austin Healey won, so I'm going to try that same thing for this race number 3, and I think it just kind of evens the playing field a bit. So we'll see if it makes a difference or not. But this is definitely race number 3, and I think this tow truck has already outperformed expectations, but has it done so only because it has an advantage? Well, we're going to find out right now. This is race number 3. The Austin Healey's in lane 2. The Sizzlin Service is in lane 1. race number 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the tow truck can take itself right back to the garage. Tow itself right back to the garage. It lost that race. I think that it still performed well for a vehicle that size, but yeah, once I found a way to kind of even out the launch support for both cars, then the tow truck lost. So now we're down to the Trak Tune, the Dodge Viper, and the Austin Healey. We're going to go Trak Tune versus Viper, and we will see here. Let's see. All right. Are those tow trucks, Christopher, are those older, or are they out now, or have they been out recently? There's a couple of cars that I'm gonna buy, like the Moto Blade. I'm gonna get that one because the one that I have is missing the plastic cover, so I'm gonna buy that one. And it's not too expensive, but sometimes buying the older cars, you know, with the eBay, with the markups, it's a little much. So it's better if they're actually in the stores now, but I don't recall seeing too many tow trucks recently. All right, we have the Trak Tune in lane 1. We have the Dodge Viper SRT in lane 2. Race number 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. I mean, that Trak Tune is pulling away from cars in a very clear and obvious way, that it's just making a statement of, you know, I'm here and I'm looking for the BlitzSpeeder. That seems to be, that's the message I'm taking away from it, because this thing has been extremely fast, and some of them, sometimes you can look at the cars and see them racing and know, okay, that car looks fast. Other times a car will look fast because it's racing against a slower car. The Trak Tune has just looked fast, period. Like no disclaimers, no caveats, no asterisks, nothing. It just looks fast. And we're going to see right now if it's going to get to the finals. Trak Tune lane 2, Dodge Viper SRT lane 1, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, here comes the Trak Tune. It's definitely hitting that launching block. Or maybe not. Oh, okay, it stops about a foot short. But the more important part of that whole scenario is that the Trak Tune won. The Trak Tune is now going to go up against the Austin Healey for the title of today's champion. And then after that is the real prize that I think the Trak Tune has got its eye on, which is the BlitzSpeeder. So we have the Trak Tune against the Austin Healey for our finals matchup. We have the Trak Tune in lane 1. We are going to have the Austin Healey in lane 2. The Trak Tune has the faster than ever wheels, and it has been looking faster than ever. So here we go. Trak Tune lane 1, Austin Healey lane 2, race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Okay, look at the Austin Healey coming all the way back. The Trak Tune, though, Trak Tune caught it. That was a close race, but the Trak Tune caught it. And the Trak Tune is now just one win away. And it looked like the Trak Tune was trailing in that race just a little bit, but then it had to make up that gap, but it did it, and that is all that is really important. Who gets that solid red light? Austin Healey is now in lane 1. Trak Tune, faster than ever wheels, lined up. Lane 2. This is the Austin Healey. It's like 3000 Mark II is the one. All right, here we go. We have the wait. When you say what is it? It's a Hot Wheels car. If that's what you meant. Okay, Austin Healey lane 1, Trak Tune lane 2, race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Trak Tune takes it. Trak Tune's coming back, tapping the launching block, and I think that is I think it's calling out the BlitzSpeeder, and that is where we're going next. The Trak Tune is back. The Trak Tune has taken the tournament. The Trak Tune now is going to see if it can take the fastest in fleet title away from the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder has been our champion for 5 months at least or so. And we are now going to find out if the Trak Tune is going to redeem itself, because the Trak Tune was our fastest in fleet champion. It beat the Draftnator. And it was our fastest in fleet champion until the BlitzSpeeder showed up. And the BlitzSpeeder has been legendary ever since. So this is the rematch. It is the Trak Tune with the faster than ever wheels, roughshod's pick in lane 2. We have the BlitzSpeeder, fastest in fleet champion, 4-time fastest in fleet champion, in lane 1. Race 1, fastest in fleet title on the line. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Trak Tune's coming all the way back. BlitzSpeeder not even breaking a sweat. Destroyed. Well, not destroyed. Yeah, destroyed. It beat it by multiple car lengths. Like I didn't even need to look at the lights at the finish line, because the race was over halfway through. The BlitzSpeeder on another level. But that's just one race. Maybe something, I don't know, something. But usually cars don't get blown all the way out unless they have a bad launch and then come back and win. But, you never know, but you kind of know. All right, BlitzSpeeder's in lane 2, the Trak Tune with the faster than ever wheels in lane 1, trying to avoid being beaten back-to-back times by the BlitzSpeeder, but I don't know if this is an avoidable type of situation. So here we go. Race number 2, Trak Tune lane 1, BlitzSpeeder lane 2. Three, two, one, race. That race was closer, but the outcome was the same. And the outcome is the BlitzSpeeder is still the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet Earth. And we are going to gather up these cars, head back into the garage, take a look at the winners, the losers, what's coming up next, and I will be back in just a minute. So the BlitzSpeeder remains our fastest in fleet champion. It just, you know, it's the BlitzSpeeder. It did what the BlitzSpeeder does, and I really don't know. I don't know what car is going to come along to challenge or beat the BlitzSpeeder. The only one I know, if we don't find a new one, if we start going back into the archives to find other cars that could possibly beat the BlitzSpeeder, the only one that we're certain of is the Dogfighter. The Dogfighter is the only car that has beaten the BlitzSpeeder. I'm pretty sure it beat it multiple times. So, we have that Mercedes-Benz 500E, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what car ends up getting picked. I don't know which car is going to have what it takes to beat the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder is just so insanely fast, and the Trak Tune is fast. The Austin Healey is fast. That last race between the Trak Tune and the Austin Healey that was close, those cars were moving very quickly. They were fast cars. But there's fast cars, and then there's BlitzSpeeder fast, which is another level up here that you can't even see. And it made the Trak Tune look pretty ordinary, but we know that the Trak Tune is a fast car. So it's just a strange, well, it's not strange anymore. It's just a fact. The fact of the matter is the BlitzSpeeder is just extremely dominant. We know when we put it in the wind tunnel on Wednesdays, we know the reasons why. We know what we're looking at. We know that it can reduce the impact of drag, and that is what happens. Well, okay, we'll look at the tow truck again. This is, here we go, right here. And this was probably, if we have one, this is our sleeper of the week, the Sizzlin Service. And the thing with this was it performed well. It won a race, and it came close. It took 1 out of 3 in the second matchup. But this is what's happening with that. So I brought this over here. So this is the hybrid acrylic cover, right? And what happens is one side is higher. It's slightly higher than the other side. And this is basically the clearance that most of the taller cars need. And this side is dropped down because this is the height that is standard on our regular acrylic cover. And if you didn't know or weren't aware, what happens is in the launcher, there's so much force that these cars are being pushed out with, they tend to go up into the air sometimes. So what this cover does is the cars, and it happens just so fast that it's almost impossible to see just with your eyes. You usually have to watch it on slow motion camera. But the cars get launched out and they go up. And what happens is the acrylic cover, you put that there, and they hit that, and then come back down onto the track and continue on. It's why we have so many fewer crashes. If I were to take these acrylic covers off, I don't know, probably half the races would end with cars flying off the track or crashes and things like that. This was something I stumbled across, a solution, and so it works. But the problem is when you have a taller car and a lower car, and with that tow truck, I had to raise this cover up even more. I had to raise it up about another 1/4 of an inch. So that what that means is that when this car, the smaller car, flies into the air, now it has to go up an extra 1/4 of an inch before it hits the thing and then comes back down. Well, that time, that little extra amount of time that it's in the air, hitting the acrylic cover and coming back down, it takes time, and it takes time off the it takes time away from the car being on the track and able to finish the race. So what you saw was the tow truck hit, kept going, but the smaller car, the Austin Healey, had to go up an additional amount, hit the top, come back down, get on the track, and then it wasn't able to close that gap, and it lost. Well, what I ended up doing was sliding another piece of acrylic here over the top of the Austin Healey, so that now it didn't have as much space to travel in order to hit the acrylic and get back on the track. And once we did that, it beat the tow truck. So I think part of the reason why the tow truck did well is because it had a little bit of an advantage. Not much. It still performed very well for a vehicle that size, but it did have an advantage, a slight advantage. But once we took that away, it lost, and that's just how it goes. So the BlitzSpeeder remains our fastest in fleet champion. Christopher was asking, we did the weight on the Formula Street, but I'll tell you again, it came in at 31.9 grams, which is pretty good. And we ended up with the BMW, taking out the white BMW, the new one, taking out the old orange one. So now I have to get that one into the fleet. And that is that. So, as for next week, there is an event that I have to go to. It is a Juneteenth community fair that the County of LA is putting on. And All About Aerodynamics is going to have a booth. We're going to be doing racing. I will probably, if depending on what the setup is, I will probably set up a stream and there at the booth, and you'll be able to come on and see what we're doing. It's just going to be racing cars. Not going to have too much. It's not really a situation. Usually our booth, there's a whole science thing that we do, a little workshop, but this isn't going to be that kind of event. So it's going to be primarily, it's just going to be racing the cars. So you'll get to see that. But what it means is, because the event goes from, I think, noon to 4, and so then I have to be there early to set up. So I won't be here on next Saturday to race on AtTheTrack.live, but I will probably, pretty certain, I'm going to try and have it set up to stream from the event. So if you want to check that out, you can. And I have no idea how many people are going to be there or what it might be slow. So if it's, put it like this, if it's slow, we may end up, we'll just race the cars. It'll just be in a different setting. And I have 100, and I think it's 108 different cars that I use for events like this. So it's a different setup than what we usually have. Then I'll have to put the video up on Instagram. Yesterday, I was trying to set up the canopy. So there's a 20-foot by 10-foot canopy, and so that I just received. And so I went to the park and I was trying to set it up just to make sure I had a good feel for it, and before the event to make sure I had all the things I needed. I'm setting this thing up and struggling with it, and finally get it set up. And there's the canopy part, and then there's a back wall. So as I'm attaching the back wall, there's a huge gust of wind that comes, lifts this thing up, flips it over a fence, and when it flipped over the fence and crashed down, the aluminum on the frame got bent. Fortunately, the covers, the canopy part that I had custom printed, didn't get damaged, but the frame got bent, and so now I have to order a new frame this week, and hopefully it gets here before the event on Saturday. But I was taking time-lapse video because I was going to do something else with the video. So there is a time-lapse, and you see me like setting up the thing, and the next thing you see, whoop, the thing's flipped up on the other side of the fence and all smashed up. And I'm sure I'll post that on Instagram. It's kind of funny. I mean, what are you going to do at this point other than laugh and move on? So I'll have to get another frame and get everything all set up. But at least I do know now, when I set it up again, I'm going to be ordering anchors like for camping, for tents. So I learned my lesson. I will be anchoring that thing into the ground one way or another. I have these weights that go on there. So once I get the new frame, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that'll be this coming Saturday, and then after that we'll get back to it. But we'll be up here on Wednesday, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, putting cars into the Funtech Labs Winsible Wind Tunnel, checking that out. Our 24/7 Hot Wheels Lo-Fi channel is still up and running. That is nonstop, and AtTheTrack.live. So we've got all the bases covered, and we'll be here. If you want more information about the science program, all about aerodynamics, aaerodynamics.com, or follow us on Instagram, aaerodynamics, and that is about it. So for all about aerodynamics, for At the Track Live, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, for the 24/7 Lo-Fi Chill Hot Wheels channel, I am Coach James, and until next time, I will see you at the races.